Very briefly, I'm standing here with Florian Borstlap in Cedrie in Charloes in Rotterdam. This is his artist studio, and you can see he does some things with classic Dutch snack foods. But what we're talking about here is the space itself and possibilities for, well, you could talk about shows and so on involving furry.
Well, it's a nice medium-sized space, so I can empty this floor level up so we can have venues here. I perceive it as a performance space. You can do whatever you want here. Lately, we did a sort of nightlife laboratory in which we researched with a group of people who just entered here. Why do we participate in nightlife, and what is our intention in nightlife? So we had a small, in a center, we had a small stage this high, and it was sort of of course, the dance floor is always the pinnacle of the nightlife. So we used it as a sort of a ritual space, exploring all kinds of things related to human interaction. And there's a second floor here, a balcony in which you can look down onto the floor. There's a hidden space behind you can not even see. We have a backstage over there, and I can turn this space. Now it's my working area. I'm working on some projects here, but I can turn it into a nice venue. We can have more privacy, closing everything down. But we also have different spaces in this building. It's a really huge building. There's a sky bar. You have a beautiful view of Rotterdam. It's fully equipped. It's actually ready to go. And we have an old gym area. It's a nice space for exhibitions. But everything is possible here. And it's artist driven here. So it's not a commercial space. It's not like an event space. It's driven by artists, and I guess it, especially for me, I'm really open in exploring a lot of things, and also building upon the experience I have with the performance bar, where hosting venues and exploring nightlife and in interaction with each other. This space could also be a place to explore. And yeah.
So we've been talking for a little while about your work and what the furry community is, and you haven't had that much interaction with the furry community, except you're interested in it and you find it fascinating.
Yeah.
And what I was saying is that furries in the Netherlands anyway are used to going to a venue space and dancing, and that's kind of the event. And then there are other things as well, but the interaction with the larger art world, which is something that Stichting Otterdam has been interested in, the Dutch furry community doesn't have that as much. So maybe if you could talk a little bit about your work and how you think it might interact with what you know of the furry community.
Well,
and the space, I shouldn't say your work, but really the space, since that's what we've been talking about.
I guess it's good to have a sort of start small when you want to explore a bit. So, but to answer your question, I also said like maybe a sort of a furry sculpture can be a sort of a thing that could happen, or the sky bar here, the other space is run by furries, and you can have a cocktail there and have a drink, and then maybe later during the evening you move towards this space, and there's more of an experimental performance in which you can participate. And then you move to a different area where there's a sort of a workshop vibe, and then you move back here, and then it's more of a lounge where you can interact and meet each other, and that would be great. And especially when there's a mix. Of course, it would be cool that everyone is a furry, but I would prefer that it would be like maybe a furry would interact with the artist here in the building and create something, or in a different space there's a performance together with the artist and the furry, or maybe we have some dance choreographers here as well. All these things happening at a sort of a day. Also, we were talking about doesn't have to be at night. It doesn't have to be about party all the time. It's more like finding ways of interacting. And then when we even make a step further, moving towards the neighborhood, going outside and actually opening it up to not only your own community but also the different people. All in this neighborhood, we have so many cultures, and
Yeah, and that was really a focus of Stichting Otterdam, which I felt was difficult to do, to cross those boundaries. And I'm always looking. I have always been looking for furries, Dutch furries, who want to make that kind of leap into the larger community, both the arts community and the local community.
I guess they have to be willing to put time not for themselves but for other people. So that would be the focus, I guess, when you are doing, or they have to be interested in performing and being a furry and connecting with children and showing the playfulness, but also sort of it's not up to me, I guess, what the furry community is about, and maybe it's not even about the furry community. It's maybe more about exploring different kind of things of yourself. And I think for young people, could be an opportunity to explore. Like, oh, wait a minute, this is how people perceive me, or how I perceive myself, and there are different ways of exploring identity, sexuality, and this is a big step. It's a leap, but it's interesting to think about.
Sorry to put you on the spot here. I feel like I've kind of posed some hard questions for you with a camera trained on your face.
Okay.
So sorry.
I'm not afraid of stuttering and not finding the words. So we can of course show the space a bit more and.
Yeah, sure. I do want to just sort of summarize a little bit. I know you, Florian, from the Performance Bar, which is was a space at Worm here in Rotterdam, where the first Otterdance happened. And you've been doing work at Boymans.
Yeah.
What's the full name? It's Bouwningen.
Museum Boymans van
Bouwningen. Okay, yeah, which is a major museum in Rotterdam. And the building itself is a former school, right? And it's at least hundreds, possibly thousands of square meters. It's a huge building.
Huge,
and there's like 40 or 50 artists here or something? 100 plus. Oh my God.
It's about 60 studios. My studio is one of the larger studios, and a lot of artists share space. So that's why there are 100 plus artists.
And for your space, we talked about, like, if you had an event here, 50 would probably be the limit just for your space, and that would be quite full.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
Yeah, well, of course, there's the floor level up there, which is you could do whatever you like it here. And, I like building spaces. I'm interested in creating this, perceiving the space as an artwork itself. So, and not only in the material way, but also how does this space work? Why do we sit here? Or when you come in, do you first go through sort of a sensory experience before you enter, or do you get like a sort of a preach before you enter? I'm interested in participatory practice, but also world building, as you might imagine. And the social interaction for me is the aesthetics. So my goal is that if we have a sort of togetherness with each other, and that's for me the uplifting experience, and that's what I'm always looking for. And I guess here you could even have, could imagine, and I fantasize about venues here like in a sort of a group process. There always depends on the topic. But we say like, oh, we have this idea, and we just get to it. We grab some materials, and there's creation. So and it can be really small. Of course, you don't have to build a masterpiece or whatever, but it can be only the act of trying to, or the act of doing it together is already more value in actually the result of what you're trying to do. So in that way, exploring and doing experiments and having all these playful aspects. I have a lot of the performance bar also had a big backstage, and we had like a lot of clothing to dress up, and most of the time we invite people or participating artists to dress up and transform themselves into a sort of a character in which they want to explore some part of themselves, or maybe explore something that you're wishing it would be part of yourself. And I guess this is also hidden, or not even hidden, but it's also part of furry community, exploring and being. You said it in a really nice way.
Oh, the word that I always use is incarnation. How do we see ourselves? How do we see others? How do others treat us based on the bodies we occupy? And I think furry addresses that.
Yeah.
As well as drag and a bunch of other things. But
that's why I also like drag and clowning, and that's why I've been drawn to performance art, because you can explore a lot of things through live interaction, especially.
Well, thanks.
So yeah.
From my side, and I'm going to cut this off because no one wants to watch a 15-minute video, but from my side, when I started doing otter dance, a lot of people said, oh, no, you can't do that because it's in a public space and everyone's going to be mean to us and so on. And the first one was poorly attended, and then it grew and it became fairly popular. And things in the I'm actually really just telling, maybe I should point this at myself, but things in the furry community are changing because some venues are closing down, things are ending, and so on. And so what I want to do is encourage the furry community to think beyond what you've already seen, think beyond the dances, think beyond, whatever else. And there are organizations that are doing this pretty well, that do fur walks. And there's now partnerships with the COC throughout the country, at least in a few spaces. Wonderful work being done there. But this is a new opportunity, is the point. This building, your willingness to, and interest in doing something interesting, I think should appeal to furries who are ambitious about creating something new.
Yeah, and I guess if there are only a handful of people who are willing to put some time and effort in setting up something, a test case or whatever, you already have a starting point. And even if you only use this space, when there are only 5 or 6 people attending, it's already a nice environment. And I guess that would be a great test case. I'd love to do a test case.
All right. Well, thank you.
Explore.
Thank you very much.